What's up, everyone? It's your host, Ghost, coming to you live with another wonderful video. Sorry I'm a little bit late. Having a hard time this morning to get up. But I mean, how is that anything new? Let's see. Making sure I got everything. Oh, all right. Yeah. How's everyone doing? I got a few things we'll talk about today. We're going to continue on with the tyranny in New Mexico going on. A federal judge has blocked the governor's ban. I guess it temporarily blocked portions of New Mexico's governor's gun ban, which, I mean, obviously it's temporary if it's only supposed to be for 30 days. Like, this ban's only supposed to be 30 days. Well, we've heard from, tyranny before. 30 day, 2 weeks to to block the spread or whatever. And 2 weeks turns into 2 months. 2 months to turn into 2 years, etc., etc. So we'll look into that. We'll see what's blocked. I guess, according to CNN, of course, portions of the gun ban. Afterwards, the White House sends a letter to the media organizations demanding scrutiny of Republicans after they announced their impeachment inquiry, which is interesting. And then, speaking of impeachment inquiry, the House Oversight Committee has released evidence of the president's involvement in his family's scam. So we're going to read the portion that was open, or that's been released. And then again, the Libertarian Party. I was going to cover this yesterday, didn't end up getting to it. Sorry, I got so much stuck in my teeth. Libertarian Party is intending to, or is filing, I don't remember, conservatorship over Biden and McConnell. So we'll look into that. Hold on, I was just trying to find. So we'll look at that. They released a statement. We'll read the statement, and I'm trying to find an article I had up for it. Well, I apparently don't have it. Which is weird, considering I thought I had it. And then if I have time, we'll look over a federal judge has declared Obama-era DACA problem unlawful again. But yeah, so that's the plan for everything. All right, sorry. I was just trying to look up something. But all right, let's get into it. All right, so according to CNN, federal judge temporarily blocks portions of the New Mexico governor's gun ban. Hold on. Whatever. A federal judge blocked a temporary order from New Mexico's governor's temporary order from New Mexico's governor that suspended the rights to carry guns in public, according to statements from the governor's office and from the gun rights advocacy group that filed the lawsuit over the original order. The ban is part of a public health emergency declaration over gun violence and drug abuse. The Democratic governor cited the killings of a 13-year-old girl and an 11-year-old boy. That doesn't make... I don't know, maybe I missed that, but I don't remember drug abuse being mentioned at all in the public health emergency declaration, but I may have just read the gun portion. All right. As well as 2 May mass shootings in a state in the declaration. The order includes a 30-day suspension of open and concealed carry laws in Bernalillo County and a ban on the carrying of guns on state property, including state buildings, schools, and some parks. Okay. Wednesday's ruling comes days after multiple gun right activists sued Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham, arguing the ban lacks historical precedence. Also, it's extremely unconstitutional. A judge temporarily blocking sections of our public health order, but recognized a judge temporarily blocked sections of our public health order, but recognized the significant problem of gun violence in the state, particularly involving the death of children. I refuse to be resigned to the status quo. Okay. Grisham stated in a statement reacting to the ruling. As governor, I see the pain of families who no, okay. Let's just make this really clear, guys. All right. She doesn't give a fuck about the families. All right. This is completely wholesome political movement. This is just, because Democrats, they always want to ban guns. They want to see tough on guns and all that shit. No, she doesn't give a fuck about the family. She's just trying to get she's just trying to get what's the word I'm looking for? She's just trying to make a name for herself as a politician. That's all she's trying to do. So let's not get twisted. Let's not, pretend like this is anything more than that. Anyways, I see the pain of families who lost their loved ones to gun violence every single day. And I will never stop fighting to prevent other families from enduring these tragedies. Yeah. Here's how you know this is a political movement. This is just trying to get political points from her, her anti-gun people. And when she decides to run for, president, she can be like, oh, I was tough on guns. That's all this is. So here's how you know. The banning of carrying firearms does nothing to prevent any gun violence whatsoever. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't say any, but I mean, honestly, yeah, no, any. Like any gun violence whatsoever. It doesn't ban it. It doesn't prevent anything. It does nothing. It's literally a nothing burger. This is how you know she doesn't really give a fuck about these people. She's just trying to score political points. The ruling has paused the gun ban enforcement of the public health order until a preliminary injunction hearing in approximately 2 weeks. According to Grisham's office, the rest of the order remains in effect. Sorry, got some of my teeth though. So I guess, hold on. Sorry, I'm just looking at the public health order. Okay, so it bans the important part, which is the gun shit. Like, whatever. Because it's mostly a gun ban. Like there's very little on the whole drug stuff. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. I mean, I guess it's half and half. Well, no, it's more. Yeah. Actually, there's only one part of it that has to do with drugs, and the other is just like more broadening of. Okay, whatever. It's mostly a gun ban. Like it's really just a gun ban, honestly. Pause the gun ban enforcement of the public health order until the preliminary. Well, I mean, I don't think any of the sheriffs were even, pretty much it was only the state people that were going to be doing anything about the gun ban. In approximately 2 weeks, according to Grisham's office, the rest of the order remains in effect. Which is funny because, in approximately 2 weeks, the ban's going to be halfway over. Like, there's no point. She should just give up at this point. But again, this is a political move. This is just a way to score political points. The National Association for Gun Rights, who filed a lawsuit against governor, applaud the ruling. There's no exceptions to the Second Amendment. As a result of today's temporary restraining order, the law-abiding gun owners of Albuquerque are able once again to exercise their right to bear arms, said Hannah Hill, executive director of the Associate's legal branch, in a statement. So is it just Albuquerque, or does whatever the other? Because there's 2 counties. It should be both counties if it's blocked in one. So, I mean, that's what that would make sense to me, especially since it was a federal judge, not a county judge. But yeah, it's funny. There's a temporary or a ruling pauses the gun ban because of a preliminary injunction hearing in approximately 2 weeks. And 2 weeks is halfway over. So, what the fuck? And again, like, this does nothing. Like, preventing people from carrying their firearms does nothing to it does nothing. Like, it really just does it. Like, I can't say it anymore. It just does nothing. Like, nothing that they're trying to do will prevent anything like gun crime related, gun violence related. Like, nothing. It does nothing. It's a nothing burger. It does absolutely nothing except hamper the rights of law-abiding citizens. That's all it does. That's how you know this is a nothing burger. It's aimed to score political points, because I'm sure eventually she's going to try and run for president, and then she's going to be, or she wants to run for president, and then she can be like, oh, look, I banned guns. Look at how strong I was against guns. Vote for me. I mean, it's basically as blatant as what Gavin Newsom is doing. It's all for political points. None of what they do actually would do anything. All right. That's all I got for that shit. It's pretty good, but that's good news. I mean, good news for 2A. A judge is willing to step up and be like, no, this is blatantly bad. This person's a fucking idiot. Doesn't say that, but still. But yeah, I mean, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, for once you see. Well, not really for once, but you at least finally see someone standing up for 2A when there's bad law that's been put down. It's yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I got somebody stuck in my teeth and it's driving me shit nuts. But yeah, no, it just like I said, it's really good to see that not only was there a federal judge that like, yeah, no, this is bad, but even the Attorney General of New Mexico was like, yeah, no, this is bad. I'm definitely not going to be. I'm definitely not going to be on your side here. If you get into any legal troubles, I'm not defending you, even though I'm technically supposed to defend you, which is good. It's good to see, for once, government officials actually upholding their fucking oaths instead of like, oh yeah, this source political points. So, all right, let's get into this next one. So, as mentioned yesterday on the show, Republicans have done their, they're doing their, they're starting their impeachment inquiry. Now there's been some like a little like, oh, you said you're going to put it to the House floor, and now you're not doing that. You don't have enough votes, which is probably true. It's probably true. He doesn't have enough votes for the impeachment inquiry because there's still those Republicans who didn't even vote for Adam Schiff to be fined. I think he ended up getting censured, but then there's still a good amount that didn't want to censor him. Which, by the way, you should get the list of those people who decided not to censure Adam Schiff, and definitely vote those fuckers out because they are just like it's just amazing to me that after all he said, he like they didn't want to fine him, but they we're wasting a bunch of fucking money on a bullshit investigation or helping with the financing of a bullshit investigation, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, I digress. So let's, like I said, I agree what they're saying that the guy doesn't have enough votes, so he couldn't like actually bring it to the floor for a vote for impeachment. So he just did it like just how Democrats did it. Which, hey, it is what it is. They did it with Trump back when he was in office. So, hey, he did the same thing, so you can't really complain that much. But I agree. It's probably not going to go nowhere. It's definitely, I would be surprised if, Biden actually got impeached. Even though there's probably more evidence that Biden did something wrong than fucking Trump ever did. The White House urged media outlets to ramp up their scrutiny of House Republicans for opening an impeachment inquiry of President Biden in a forceful letter sent to news organizations on Monday. It's time for media to ramp up its scrutiny of House Republicans for opening an impeachment inquiry based on lies. That sounds pretty familiar. Opening an impeachment inquiry based on lies. When did that happen? Oh, yeah, it was with Trump. And I don't remember the White House urging media outlets to ramp up their scrutiny of House Democrats for opening an impeachment inquiry on President Trump. I don't remember seeing that. Interesting. It's time for the media to ramp up its scrutiny of House Republicans for opening an impeachment inquiry based on lies. It literally just, okay, whatever, which has been obtained by Fox News Digital said. On Tuesday, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, Republican California, said House Republicans have uncovered serious and credible allegations into President Biden's conduct that will serve as the basis of an impeachment inquiry. Less than 24 hours later, the Biden administration urged newsrooms to scrutinize the inquiry. Ian Sams, a special assistant to the president and spokesperson for the White House counsel's office, penned the letter. After nearly 9 months of investigating, House Republicans haven't been able to turn up any evidence of the president's doing anything wrong. But House Republicans, led by Marjorie Taylor Greene, are nonetheless opening a baseless impeachment inquiry of President Biden, despite many House Republicans openly admitting there's no evidence on which to support it. Impeachment is grave, rare, and historic. The Constitution requires treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors, but House Republicans are publicly saying they have uncovered none of these things. The letter has stated a variety of GOP lawmakers who have been publicly hesitant to launch an impeachment inquiry against Biden. Sam noted a report that there are as many as 30 House Republicans who don't believe there's enough evidence yet to impeach or impeachment. Now, the reasoning House Republicans are probably doing this so early is political points. Like, that's definitely the reason why they're, let's say what this guy's saying is true. Let's say he's true, and there's 30 Republicans who are like, I don't think we have enough evidence to impeach him. Yeah, well, they're going to go ahead with this impeachment to try and score political points before the 2024 election. That's what this pretty much is. If you don't think that, come on. This is the same thing that Democrats did with Trump. They were just trying to score political points. They didn't think anything was going to actually stick. It's time for the media to ramp up its scrutiny of House Republicans for opening based on lies, he wrote. They've done this line like 3 fucking times. When even House Republicans are admitting that there's simply no evidence that Biden did anything wrong, much less impeachable, that should set off alarm bells for news organizations. The letter continued. For years, Republicans in Congress have tried to muddy the waters by attracting media coverage of their allegations, and they have chosen to move forward for impeachment. It is reasonable for an independent press to treat their claims with approximate scrutiny and covering impeachment as a process story. Republicans say X, the White House says Y. It's a disservice to the American people who relies on the independent press to hold those in power accountable. But they don't. Independent press barely holds anyone accountable, ever. Certainly not their own, who was ever in power at the time. Well, who's ever liked at the time. House Republicans should be held accountable for the fact that they are lurching towards impeachment over allegations that are not only unfounded, but in all virtual cases have been actively disproved, including by witnesses and documents in their own investigation, as well as years-old congressional probes and even the former president's first impeachment inquiry. Includes a 14-page appendix said addresses 7 key lies the impeachment effort was based on. This letter was sent to some of the country's largest media organizations, including Fox News, CNN, New York Times, and others. McCarthy has led allegations of abuse, obstructions, and corruptions made against Biden by several GOP-led committees who have been investigating the president. Through our investigation, we have found that President Biden did lie to the American people about his own knowledge of his family's foreign business dealings. Eyewitnesses have testified that the president joined multiple phone calls and had multiple interactions, dinner resulting in cars and millions of dollars into his sons and his son's business partners. We know that bank records show that nearly $20 million in payments were directed to Biden's family members and associated through various shell corp companies. The Treasury Department alone has more than 150 transactions involving the Biden family and continues. Another business associates that were flagged as suspicious activity by U.S. banks. Even a trusted FBI informant has alleged the bribery to Biden family. Biden used his office. This is just from the statement before, but to coordinate with Hunter's business partners about Hunter's role in Burisma, the Ukraine energy company. So there you go. Like I said, I like, it wouldn't end up surprising me if this ends up just being a nothing burger as well, and they're just trying to score political points before the election. Yeah. I mean, but we'll see. We'll see when they actually go through it. We'll see what happens. I don't think anything's going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, and then here is a section of evidence that I feel like this is okay. So let's read this. Breaking report: House Oversight Committee released evidence of president involvement in business and families influence peddling scheme. Here's a 20-plus example. Here are 20-plus examples of Joe's involvement and his family's influence peddling scheme that enriched the Bidens. In July 2023, Biden's former business associate David Archer described how Biden was the brand and was used to send signals of power, access, influence to enrich the Biden family from foreign sources. Okay. Mr. Mandolov, whatever. You keep saying the brand, but by brand, you mean the Biden family, correct? Mr. Archer, correct. Mr. Mandolov. And that brand is what, in your opinion, was the majority of what the value that was delivered from Hunter Biden to Burisma? Mr. Archer, I didn't say majority, but I wouldn't speculate on percentages, but I do think that was an element of it. Mr. Biggs, when you say Biden family, sorry to cut in here, I just want to get a clarification. So you aren't talking about Dr. Jill or anyone else, you're talking about Joe Biden. Is that fair to say? Mr. Archer, yeah, that's fair to say. Listen, I don't think about it as, Joe directly, but it's fair. That's fair to say. Obviously, that brought the most value to the brand. Okay, so there you go. Basically, he's saying that Joe Biden's a brand. When you bring the brand, then it brings value towards it's what basically Hunter Biden brought to Burisma. And that kind of ended up getting proven when a prosecutor was going after Burisma, and all of a sudden, Biden shows up in Ukraine and was like, "Hey, you got 24 hours, or you're not going to get the aid that I come here with." Blah 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 blah, and then brags about it on TV. So that's what it basically is saying. So there we go. So, I mean, like I said, I don't think this is really going to go anywhere. I have very little faith in. I have very little faith in them. Like, I don't know. They don't deserve any faith that at all. They just really don't. Because they always end up, it ends up just being, political points, and nothing ever gets done, et cetera, et cetera. So I have a hard time believing in them. I'm sure this is going to end up being nothing. It is what it is. What can you do? All right, well, here we go. Sorry, it's that time. Talk about some coffee brand coffee. Coffee brand coffee is the best coffee around. They have a variety of coffees. They got the classics. They got light roast to dark roast. They got bourbon. They have spiked jack-o'-lantern and pumpkin pie, because it is fall. Coming out with just that. So, some delicious. But my personal favorite's right here, and it's French toast flavored coffee. I am out of it nearly out of it at this moment. I just bought some, so hopefully it'll be here soon. Because I need my coffee. Yeah. These are, here's the pumpkin pie one. So these are options. Now, if you aren't a coffee drinker, but you do like something good, haven't drinking it, but if it's good as their coffee, it's going to be pretty good. We got tea, got early gray tea, English breakfast, gunpowder green, chamomile lavender, and they got apple pie and biscotti oolong. So these are various teas you can try out. And if you're not a coffee or tea drinker, well, guess what? They also have hot chocolate. Haven't tried it yet, but I'm sure it's delicious. They got velvety, rich caramel, and marshmallow for their hot chocolate. It is fall, which means winter is right around the corner. So, definitely can check that out. And if you don't, and if you're feeling a little snacky, well, they got some snacks. They got a variety of nuts and saltwater taffy. Coffee Brand Coffee is a very unique coffee brand. It, oh, fucking hell! Sorry, I messed up somewhere. It there we go. It's a company that roasts to order, meaning they don't start roasting until they get the order. So it's as fresh as you could possibly get it without necessarily going and doing it yourself or going to a store and doing it. They have like 4,000 customers, mostly 5-star reviews. So it's a brand you can definitely trust. And again, the coffee is delicious. So if you're interested in having some Coffee Brand coffee, I forgot to put my fucking banner up again. There's that coupon code right there, Ghost. You can get 5% off, but also using this referral link will also give you 5% off. If you subscribe, that gives you 10% off, and you won't be able to use my coupon codes or to get that additional 5% off, or the referral link will not give you an additional 5% off either. But still use this referral link because that gives me credit, and that's all I ask for. But yeah, so use these codes if you want to try out some Coffee Brand coffee. Okay. All right, so let's get into this liquid tyrant party thing. All right, so this is from the Libertarian Party's X account, Twitter account, whatever you want to call it. And it goes, we intend to file a conservatorship over Biden and McConnell. Here's why. Now, before you dismiss this as political theater, it is. The mental acuity and overall health of our national leaders are not matters to be taken lightly. When signs of cognitive decline become evident, it's not just a personal issue, it's a national security concern. We are all aware of the gaps, the lapse in memory, the freezes, the incoherent statement made by these powerful men. There aren't many these aren't mere quirks, they're red flags. The decisions made in Oval Office and the Senate floor have reached far-reaching implications affecting both domestic policies and international relations. If the individuals make these decisions aren't at their cognitive best, the consequences could be dire. President Biden's frequent verbal missteps and moments of confusions aren't mere embarrassments, they're alarming. From forgetting names to stumbling over words to staying straight up gibberish or shaking hands with the air. The president's behavior raises legitimate questions about his mental fitness. We're the highest office in the land. This isn't about partisanship, it's about the well-being of our nation. Similar, Mitch McConnell has an exhibit paper that should give us pause. His public appearances have been marked by contradicting statements, a lack of focus, and he has literally frozen during press conferences multiple times. As the minority leader of the Senate, McConnell wields significant influence. If he's not mentally up to the task, it's not just his problem, it's America's problem. Beyond the easily observed mental and physical instability of both men and the indefensible incur of $4.8 trillion in debt, continued involvement in an unwinnable proxy war in Ukraine, questionable and potential criminal businesses and political affiliations, and lack of awareness to the state of the United States domestically makes these conservatorship a matter of utmost urgency. Why conservatorship? Conservatorship is a legal mechanism designed to protect individuals who cannot take care of themselves. While it's an extreme measure, we believe the situation calls for it. The Libertarian Party is taking this step to send a clear message. The mental health of our leaders is a priority that should transcend political affiliations. This action about more than just two individuals, it's a wake-up call for voters and politicians alike to prioritize mental fitness in our leaders. Cognitive ability should be a non-negotiable qualification for public office. We, the voters, have the power to hold our leaders accountable. It's our responsibility to ensure those in office are mentally capable of the tasks they've been elected to perform. This conservatorship action is a step in that direction, but it's not the end. We will continue to scrutinize, question, and when necessary, replace those who aren't fit to lead. We are seeking legal representations in these matters in Washington, D.C., so that we can move forward with the proceedings as quickly as possible. If you are a DC probate attorney and you're interested in assisting us with this action, please reach out. We also encourage others aggrieved parties to file for a conservatorship of many incompetent geriatric members of federal government as possible. We invite you to join us in this critical endeavor. The future of our nation depends on the mental fitness of those at the helm. Let's act before it's too late. Okay. Now, I got another one. It's from their website, I think. And then I'll have my comments. LNC, Libertarian Party, I think, or something like that. I don't even know what it means. Seeks to protect America with conservatorship for President Joe Biden, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. The Libertarian National Committee is taking urgent actions to protect the interests of American populations, and the imminent plans to file for conservatorships for President Joe Biden, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. The clear and capable of mental lapses, deficiencies, and decision makings that are clearly observed in numerous recent and well-publicized instances necessitate these actions. Both subjects' ability to receive and evaluate information, effectively make decisions, and to communicate are impaired to such an extent that they lack the capacity to represent themselves or the interests of Americans, as neither the men themselves nor either of the dominant political parties will take actions to remove President Biden or Senate Minority Leader McConnell. The only party of principle, the Libertarian Party, feels it is its obligation to move forward on the issue. One of the most insulting and infuriating things in American politics is the financial tyranny inflicted upon us by the geriatric elites. These people have squatted in public office for decades, amassing massive wealth from lobbyists, super PACs, and tax dollars, while the average American feels the pain of inflation, watch their savings dwindle. Apparently, 50 years of public service is not enough for some of these people, and they stubbornly refuse to pass the torch, even though they are no longer fit for service. Elected officials like Joe Biden and Mitch McConnell exhibit regular and very public episodes of embarrassment, disorientation, mental confusion, stroke symptoms. These men and others like them, like Dianne Feinstein, John Fetterman, are not well enough to be left alone in the house all day. How are they well enough to govern our lives and spend our tax dollars? Says the Libertarian National Committee. I guess that's what LNC means. Chair Angela McCardle. McCardle continued, the Libertarian National Committee is doing the responsible thing. We are filing for conservatorship of Joe Biden and Mitch McConnell. These men are not well to make financial decisions with their own money or with taxpayer money. So we've compassionately decided to step in and make those important decisions for them. We are seeking legal representation in the matter in Washington, D.C. so that we can move forward. This is just another call, so I'm not going to read this. All right. So, the Libertarian Party is calling, trying to get, conservatorship over Biden and McConnell. Look, if people like Feinstein that are under a conservatorship should definitely out of office. People like Joe Biden, Mitch McConnell should definitely not be in office either. But here is the problem. People voted for them. So if come 2024 and people vote for Joe Biden again, enough people, without an actual, thing. I think we all know what we're talking about. Sorry, my fucking brain just froze for some reason. Yeah, I get like this is the only option type situation, but unfortunately, people are voting for these people, and if they want to vote for them, that's their right. They get into office, and to be fair, McConnell didn't really start showing these shines until recently, as far as I know. American people are fucking stupid, but it just depends on like the next election if they revote. Like if Mitch McConnell's revoted in by Kentucky, I think. What's his political party? Yeah, Kentucky. Wasn't sure. I mean, yeah, it's just whatever. So what is a conservatorship? Conservatorship is a court order that appoints someone to oversee the financial affairs of a minor or a person who is incapacitated. A guardian typically involves the appointment of someone to manage the medical and physical care of the person with limited capacities or a minor. So that's what a conservatorship is. So these are the powers that a conservator has: housing, healthcare, meals, personal care, housekeeping, transportation, recreation, education. Here's the thing: like, let's say the Libertarian Party wins the conservatorship over, Biden and McConnell. It doesn't say anything like. It doesn't like just because Feinstein's is under one. It doesn't really say anything. It doesn't it doesn't prevent her from doing. Like if we should make the Congress should make a law. If you get placed under conservatorship, you can no longer hold office. It's what they need to do. That's the correct way to do these things, is to make a law. If you're under a conservatorship, you can no longer hold office. And say the Libertarian Party does, end up winning a conservatorship, all they would be able to do is the personal finances, personal health care, and all that stuff of these two individuals. Wouldn't be able to dictate how they run the country, or taxpayer dollars, because that's not their personal finances. So I don't really understand what this conservatorship ends up doing. Honestly, I think it just is, again, it's one of those nothing burger things. It's purely for political political points. It's really what it ends up being, in my opinion. So I don't really know what this would end up doing for anyone. It doesn't help the country at all. I think Republicans need to step up and remove McConnell from minority leader. And I think the state of Kentucky needs to not vote for him next election. I think those are the correct actions. I think Congress should put into law, if you're required to be put under conservatorship, you can no longer hold public office. I think that's a good way to do this. But again, I don't know what a conservatorship by the Libertarian Party really does. Like, in all honesty, I don't think it does anything. All right. Maybe sorry. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it does do something, but I don't think it does. That's just what I think. I don't think doing a political stunt like this will do anything, but that's just my opinion. All right. Federal judge declares Obama-era DACA program unlawful. A federal judge in Texas ruled Wednesday that a regulation intended to preserve the Obama era deferred action for child arrivals program is unlawful, delivering a major blow to the Biden administration. Last year, the administration moved to preserve the program, which protects undocumented immigrants who were brought to the U.S. as children, and released a rule to codify the policy into a federal regulation. But in a Wednesday filing, Judge Andrew Hannon of the South District of Texas maintained that DACA is unlawful and argued that it violates the Administrative Protective Act, a law that governs how agencies make regulations. The order doesn't impact current beneficiaries of the program. To be clear, neither this order nor the accompanying supplement injunctions require the Department of Homeland Security or the Department of Justice take any immigration, deportation, or criminal action against any DACA recipient, applicant, or any other individual that would otherwise not be taken. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said in a statement Wednesday evening that the administration is deeply disappointed by the ruling. During this administration, hundreds of thousands of DACA recipients have been able to live and work lawfully in our country without fear of deportation, Jean-Pierre wrote. As we have long maintained, we disagree with the district court's conclusion that DACA is unlawful, and we will continue to defend this critical policy for legal challenges. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Marcos commended the ruling in a statement, but affirmed that the department will continue to process renewals for current DACA recipients. The Department of Justice declined to comment. DACA, created in 2012, was intended to provide temporary reprieve to undocumented immigrants who were brought to the United States as children, as a group often described as dreamers, and allowed them to work and live in the United States. Many of them are now adults. There were 578,680 immigrants enrolled in DACA at the end of March, according to the government data. What the hell? The Biden administration released a rule last year to preserve and fortify DACA, largely maintaining the criteria of the program. In January, 9 Republican-led states asked Hannon to block the rule. Hannon's ruling comes after a federal appeals court largely upheld his previous rulings, finding DACA unlawful. That ruling blocked the government from approving new applicants from the program, but allowed it to continue for current enrollees while the case was litigated. That remains the case today. In his Wednesday ruling, Hannon cited the ongoing legal fight over the program and put the onus on Congress. Litigation revolving around the legality of DACA in one form or another has existed for nearly a decade. It's true. While sympathetic to the predicament of DACA recipients and their family, the course has expressed its concern about the legality of the program for some time. The solution of these deficiencies lies with legislators, not the executive or judicial branch. Advocates have repeatedly urged Congress to provide protections to DACA recipients, but those attempts have fallen short. Democrats and Republicans have been sympathetic to hundreds of thousands of undocumented immigrants who were brought to the U.S. as children, many of whom were under the age of 10. But the give and take between Democrats and Republicans over dreamers have made it difficult to achieve bipartisan compromise. So there you go. So the judge is like, I was pretty sure it was unlawful before. Court of Appeals agreed with me. We litigated the case. I'm right. I was right. That's pretty much what he ended up saying. Sorry, I text my sister. Look, they're absolutely 100% right. If you want to do DACA, then Congress, that's your job. That's not the executive branch. It's the role of the legislative branch. Make a law saying, this is, DACAs are good, we can do this, but they won't do it. Even when the Democrats had the House, they didn't do it. And considering Republicans are the ones that are fighting against this, and they're not going to do it. So even when Democrats had the House, they still didn't do it. So it's just, it's just what it is, really. Yeah, I mean that's what it ends up being, really. I really don't have much to say on it. I mean, I agree with the ruling. I agree in the spirit that this is a legislator problem, not an executive problem, and that's how we need to start treating it, and not just end up trying to just trying to force this through without actually taking care of the problem, which would simply be just just going to Congress and making it into law. That's all I really need to do. It's not that hard to do, really, if you think about it. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna call it a day. I'm gonna go work out and then probably either go to bed, or if I have time, maybe I'll go and what's today, Thursday? Okay, maybe I'll go to bed again, but we'll see. I have to get up today. Okay. All right, but yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you'll like the video for sure. Make sure to follow me at official WGhost. That's the best way to find out when I go live and where my links are and everything. Make sure you follow me on Rumble with Ghost, and on YouTube. Check out my gaming channel, Gaming with Ghost. The link is in the description for both channels. Kick as well. It's Gaming with Ghost on Kick as well. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Like I keep saying, follow me on the things, like the video, and yeah, see you later and have a good day. Talk